Good morning, everybody out there in DFS land. It's your buddy Choppadong coming at you with another video Chop Talk episode brought to you by the one, the only dfsarmy.com. All things DFS, from MMA to NFL to NBA to NHL to every sport I can possibly think of in my mind. We have it covered. We've got World Cup stuff coming up. In fact, you know what? There is a rumor that we are even talking about potentially exploring the new world of sports betting. So for those of you that are not members already, not VIPs already, I encourage you to go to the link at the bottom of the comments section, click on it, go check us out, look at our wall of fame, look at our wall of wins, look at our testimonials, look at everything everybody's saying about dfsarmy.com, because the coaching makes the difference. We're the most interactive, most approachable coaching staff you can possibly find. If you have questions about how to get better, many people think they can do it on their own, and I'm telling you, you can't. You cannot do it on your own anymore. You've been around long enough that you're just not going to figure it out on your own without a little bit of help. Come bounce questions off of us. Come bounce your ideas off of us. We sit around as a group and we talk, and we kind of just put our minds together and figure out ways to tackle the DFS education that everybody is using these days, and find holes in people's games and how to exploit it and give ourselves the edge. That's what we do inside dfsarmy.com 24/7. So again, take a look. Use code CHOP, CHOP. It is your discount, 10% discount as long as you remain a member of the site. Today what we're going to do is we're going to dive in, and we're going to talk a little bit about finding positions and how to find them. And I'm going to go really fast today. This will not be a long video. I have stuff to do this morning, and I just wanted to at least get something out to you guys. But I'm going to show you how I do it, and I really don't go that much deeper in this. Sometimes we can go deeper in these videos to teach, but today we're just going to hit the high points. Of course, you know me out on Twitter at Choppadong, so give me a follow. If you're hungover and hard up today, Chin Music Saves Your Day. That is basically the kind of point you in the right direction article of the day when it comes to baseball and DFS and whatnot. What pitchers do we like? What ones do we want to attack? What offenses do we like? Where do we want to stack within them? And who do we find? But today we'll take a little bit different approach. We'll take a little bit more of a cash game build. We're not so worried about stacking. We're just going to try to find the best plays of the best plays. So let's dive in, and let's go position by position. Of course, you can always start with the starting pitching matchups. There's a bunch of mediocrity out there. There's a lot of good DFSA grades, which is interesting. But there's a lot of mediocre matchups when you really dig into the numbers and look at, you know, Maeda's pretty strong, but Castillo, Straley, Kingham, Clevenger's not on the main slate, Morton, these guys are all really expensive for the strikeout upside you don't get, or they're really cheap and very inconsistent in not knowing what you're gonna get. So you're really going to be taking some gambles in the pitching side of things today. I do believe that Maeda's the safest one on the slate, but he's prone to blow up like the rest of them, so who the hell really knows? What we're going to do is we're going to dive into the trends tab, and we're going to take the 6 o'clock game off because that's not going to be on the main slate, and then we're going to dive position by position on Fanduel. We do first baseman and catchers together, so when we're looking here at our DFSA grades, I like leaving it sorted by those because that's the catch-all stat. And then what I like to do is I like to take the WOBA tab, and I like to take out the numbers, and I like everything greater than a 350 7-day WOBA. Once it takes all the junk out, that's what I'm left with. Okay? I'm left with the best of the best. I'm going to try and stay as high as I can on these grades. So what I'm looking at is these guys are all pretty much playable. And of course I'm going to key on the higher WOBAs if I can. And I'll loosely look at the 14-day plate appearances. Platoon. You know, I mean, not starting. Really, these are guys that you can't count on to start. And the green guys are the guys you can. So if I'm looking at, you know, Tyler Flowers, if Atlanta plays, they've got weather issues today. Mitch Moreland running hot in Boston. Joey Votto's always going to be on this list. Matt Adams is okay. Washington's in a pretty good spot. If you want for cheaper, you know, you maybe look at a catcher like a Ramos. Maybe, you know, Justin Smoke. Maybe he's in a good spot. Brad Miller on the DL. Aguilar, does it get much hotter than that? It's a 392. He's cooled off. Did you know that? Our WOBA tab shows you that. Shows you that his season-long average is 371, or season-long WOBA. His last 2 weeks was a 441, where he was ripping the cover off the ball, but he's cooled off a little bit to under a 400. Is he going to keep cooling off? Is he going to regress back to his, you know, his season-long number? Or is he going to heat back up? That we don't know, but what I can say is his trajectory right now is pointing down. If I wanted somebody who's just red hot right now, it'd be Mark Reynolds if he gets a start. You know, I mean, 485, 522, these are all great numbers. But, I mean, you're not going to beat right now Mitch Moreland ripping the cover off the ball. He's 350 on the year, 475 in the last 2 weeks, and 550 over the last week. You're catching him right at his peak right now. You're going to pay for it a little bit. His price is kind of caught up to him. But that would be where one of the places I would start. Boston's in a great spot tonight if you follow Chin Music. They're a high implied run offense, and they are facing bad pitching. They're also on an offense scoring a lot of runs this year and facing an offense or a pitching staff giving up a lot of runs on the year. So there couldn't be more green lights in their favor. But again, I'm still going to try and stick with the hot bats. Now, Boston themselves should be in a really, really good spot if you wanted to stack them. But these are the guys within that offense that I would start my stacks with, and I might complete a stack with a JD Martinez or somebody that's not running quite as hot right now. Okay, if that makes sense. So what we're going to do, we've just figured out the first baseman that we like, a couple of them. We'll kick over to second base, and we're still sorted by 350. So we're looking at the hotter grades. It's a weaker position if you can tell that the numbers are not quite as high in the grades. So when this happens, I'm going to be looking for things like positional scarcity. Is there a big gap in the grades? They're really just the top two. Then it drops off a little bit. There's a bunch of middling stuff in here. So if I'm not going to take one of these top two guys, which I might take, Jose Altuve's running pretty hot if I can afford to. Solarte's a little bit cheaper, but you know I'm going to take the hottest bat I can find. If I don't end up being able to afford that, I'm going to come down here into this middle range, and now because it's a deeper position, I'm going to be looking to save some money. Wendell, Perella, you know, maybe Devon Travis. Devon Travis at a 70 versus a 72 is not bad, especially when you're looking at Devon Travis at 2,200 versus 3,900 or 2,900. That's one way you can use these matchups to determine how this is going to go. And at a 422 WOBA over the last 7 days, Devon Travis is producing. He's producing right up here with, you know, Perella and with Altuve and those guys. Why would you pay 4,100 when you can pay 2,200 to get similar production? Now, yes, Altuve is a much more talented player than Devon Travis, but when Devon Travis is running hot, which is what this graphic shows you, you can save a lot of money by not spending it unnecessarily. And it doesn't look like tonight is the spot where we have to spend up. Now, if all the rest of these guys were pretty junky, then I'm probably going to have to spend up for an Altuve, but it doesn't look like tonight's going to be that night. Do you see how I got there? That's the question. If you don't see how I got there or can't use this tool on your own, you need the coaching inside DFS Army. Third base, Matt Carpenter's still running hot. Look at all these guys running hot. We got a pretty deep position tonight. We've got a big gap in the matchups, but we've got a pretty deep number, of hot bats. So we'll probably be looking for value here. Jake Lamb pops out. Jose Bautista, New York's not in a great spot. David Freese, not so much. Jose Reyes, not so much. So maybe a little bit more expensive. But see, now I'm into the low threes. So it looks like Jake Lamb's going to possibly be the guy. 400 WOBA. I don't see a lot hotter than that. I do see some Travis Shaw. If I wanted to spend up and stack Milwaukee against St. Louis, I could do that. Candelario, if I wanted, you know, it's not really a savings per se. Detroit is in an okay position going against Tropiano. Just looking down the list here, it looks like I'm going to still be in those mid-threes because there's not a punt that really stands out at me. But if there was, I'd have the WOBA to support it, and I'd have the DFSA grades over, say, a 70 or 75 to support it. Looks like Jake Lamb's going to be my play for cash games. Oops, let's go to shortstops. Very shallow position. Not many to choose from today. And the grade isn't that great again. With Segura at top, if he's healthy, this questionable day-to-day bit makes me want to go double-check that. But if he's healthy, it looks like he's going to be the one I'm running with, although these guys are running hotter. Brandon Crawford at 3,700 in Colorado with a 582. That's probably where I would spend up and go. And being that I don't have many choices, I'd automatically gravitate right there. I might take him as a one-off. I might run, you know, some of the hotter hitters, Brandon Belt or somebody out of that offense with him, but I'm probably just going to jump right on in there, take him, and be gone. The contrarian plays would be, you know, a little bit more maybe of your Seguras or your Profars or somebody like that and hope that they do all right, you know, while he does not, you know, perform. But Crawford in Colorado looks like a really, really good play in a very, very scarce position where I don't have a lot of options hitting over 350 on the WOBA over the last 7 days. So I'm probably going to have to pay up to get it. You know, I'm probably not going to take Galvis, probably not going to take Brock Holt. He probably won't even get the start, being that this number here is red. See, I'm using this tool. And then I'm probably right in the mid-threes. So if I'm in the mid-threes, hottest hitter is the winner, especially if he's in Coors, especially if he's, you know, part of an offense that's actually running okay right now. I mean, these are just little things that we use to tip the scales in our favor. Is it going to work out all the time? No. Crawford could put up a 0 tonight, but he gives me the best chance of anybody, according to the way I look at numbers. Now, outfield is obviously always deep. You get 3 spots to pick from. You look up in here, and the DFS grades are always going to be interesting. It's not a scarce position most times that you're going to pick up on where you're going to say, I really have to pay up for a few guys and I can go for value at other positions. This is generally where you're going to get your value if other positions are scarce. If shortstop is scarce, if second base is scarce, this is a spot you're typically going to run to for value to up the average salary per player when you're doing your lineup building. You know, and get that thing back up above the 2,500 per player remaining for 4 or 5 players, and get it back up to the 3,200 mark or something where you can actually roster some decent players and stack them. Again, though, what I'm looking at is I ideally like cheaper players. So Trumbo, man, if he gets the start, 790 over 29 at bats and 80 on the rating, facing Hellickson, who we know is bad. Baltimore's in a good spot for 2,800. That's just a lock for me. That's just an absolute lock for me. Look down a little bit more. Denard Span. Seattle's in a good spot. Late start, 420. Okay, there's another decent play. So I've got a 2,800 and a $3,000. And down here is Santana. If he gets the start in Milwaukee, not a bad spot. Adam Jones, not a bad spot. You could run Jones and Trumbo together. Scroll down a little bit farther. Start getting down into some of these guys. Again, just looking for value. Oakland's not hitting the radar tonight, so I don't know how much I'd take Pinder. Dietrich, Puig, Ben Gamel in Seattle, not bad. Could run him. Who did we mention with Span? If Ben Gamel gets the start, 380 is okay. It's playable. Kane, Kemp, Marisnik. Marisnik's one of my favorite punts when Houston's going well. I haven't used him for a long time. Heredia at 2,300 is another one. 387 on the WOBA. Run Heredia and Gamel, and now you've just saved yourself a ton of money. They're playable. Are they the best ones on the slate? I don't know. They're running as 380, 400 as good as anybody. Now they're not going to be running as hot as these guys up here at the top. Look at Mike Trout with his 611. That's what you want to see. Aaron Judge with a 540. He bounced back just last week about this time. He was down in the 280s. That's how quick this 7-day WOBA changes. It's up and down like a roller coaster. You use it in conjunction with the 14-day WOBA. And I can see if he's going up or down, if his trajectory is upward or downwards, and I'll play him on the up, and I usually get off him on the down. So anyway, that's just quickly how I'm going to go through these, and I write these names down. I'm not highlighting them and spotting them for you. Hopefully, you're writing them down as I go through the slate with you and point them out. Then hopefully you've got access to this tool and you can get through it yourself, and you can take more time. And if you wanted to, you can scroll all the way over and look at the hard numbers like the BABIP and the hard contact numbers. Another number we use is this 14-day hard BABIP number like this. Aaron Judge. Well, does it make sense? He was a 200 something in the WOBA category last week. He wasn't producing, and now all of a sudden his hard contact is up 50%. It's running over his season-long numbers, and his BABIP is up. He's hitting for a higher average on balls put in play. He was maybe suffering from some bad luck 2 weeks ago, but now that he's there, his hard BABIP difference numbers way up. So his hard contact and his BABIP numbers are coming up, which means he's getting hot again. So it might be time to get back on the Aaron Judge train. All rise. You know what I mean? That's just another way you use these tools. And these tools are here for you. You can use them as deeply as you want to use them. You can pick on the surface like I do and run very competitive lineups, or you can dig as deep as you want to dig and see how the guy plays when his third toe from the left has a hangnail. I mean, if that's the kind of stuff you want to look at, I'm sure you can find it. Anyway, we're coming up on 15 minutes. Let's bug out. Those were just what I would do. Is I would, independent of stacking, I would use those for cash game type lineups where I'm spread out a little bit. I would still try to correlate a little bit in cash because I still want that upside in baseball. Baseball's a very volatile game. I still want a little bit of the boost of guys knocking me across the plate and getting me to score runs, or me getting up to bat with guys on base that I also have on my team, so that when I knock them in, I do get a little bit, or I get the offense that scores 8 runs and I've got 2 or 3 guys in it instead of just 1. Okay? So I want to use that correlation a little bit in baseball where I can, even though all the books tell you don't stack and cash. In baseball, it's bullshit. If you want to talk to me more about it, we can talk to her below in the face inside our Slack channels as a VIP. So once again, follow the description or the comment section down below, dfsarmy.com, and use coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P. We can get you in there today. We can get you talking today. We can get you building lineups today. That's just how we roll inside dfsarmy.com. I will see you hopefully in a couple of days, and I'm Chop It On. This was Chop Talk, and we will see you later.